Good morning, legends. Sorry, first of all, to not be able to go live today. I did a test on the internet from where I'm staying and it's really poor. So I figured better off do a recording so that we don't have any dropouts. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. We're going to today get into Bitcoin's price action yesterday, what kind of happened with our crazy move and why we just suddenly reversed where we did and what we should be looking at moving forward. So if that's the kind of stuff that you like and you know that you want to get into, then be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to turn that bell notification button to all so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Now let's talk about yesterday's price action first before we get into anything else. As we know, Monday is notorious for, sorry, I'll just turn my phone off. I just want to kind of smash this out without having to edit it. But we know Mondays are notorious for being a potential false move. Sometimes that false move can just be a stop hunt. Sometimes it can be a whole trend for the day. And that's what happened yesterday was we had this move out from the dead gap zone. We finally broke that 16,900 level and Bitcoin made its way up to the next area of high level liquidity, which was sitting at 17,347. We also had fairly large short orders really between 17.3 all the way up to 17.5. So that was kind of the key target because we had this liquidation level at 17,347. That made my personal target somewhere between 17.3 to 17.4, which is where we hit on. And then we basically had a inverted V reversal, and I want to talk about that. That is a really difficult trade to get. It does take time and experience. However, there was one sort of key thing that could have given you a hint that this was happening if you were basically able to trade the US time zone. So number one, this is one thing I found can happen leading up to what is known as an NYC reversal trade. And an NYC reversal trade usually happens within the first 3 hours of the US session. This one, basically, it was kind of right on the edge. It did go a little bit over, so it was about 3.5 hours when it started to happen, which was a little bit extended. However, I would still say it counts in this situation. One thing I've noticed about NYC reversal trades is that if Asia and UK run the same trend and it feels overextended and it hits into a liquidation zone, that's when you have a higher chance of an NYC reversal trade come the US session. So with this one in particular, it was worth me staying up, even though I'm on a different time zone. It wasn't too bad. I think, I can't remember what time it was, like 11 or something like that. But it was worth me staying up to get this short because I had the feeling that we were going to get the NYC reversal. So usually what will happen is, not usually, but what really leads me to believe I'm going to get an NYC reversal trade is if Asia runs a trend. Asia doesn't have to run the trend, by the way, but if it does, that just adds to my confidence that we're going to get it. So Asia runs the trend, UK continues the trend, and then US continues the final damage of the trend in the first 3 hours. So that's what we saw yesterday, and that was our perfect setup for an NYC reversal trade. Now, the specifics of how you enter the trade, they're all covered in our course. So if you want to really dive deep into that, you know, there's no better time if you're thinking to learn to trade than doing it in January when things tend to be a little bit slower and you have time to do it. You can just head to our website. The link is in the description of this video. Have a look at this video that explains everything we do. And then you can scroll down, have a look at our membership options, meet the team, and also read some of our client testimonials. So we do discuss in detail how to get trades like this. But the other thing too that was happening yesterday that kind of led towards it, which is the warning for today, is the Dixie. So yesterday I had posted this in our Discord to be careful of this area here that is marked because after having the 800 EMA rejection on the 1 hour time frame, we just kind of kept diving straight down, and we touched on this is a previous vector zone on the 4-hour time frame, it's back from June. So I'll scroll all the way back so you can see that. If it decides to load. So see, my computer is, and my internet is really slow over here. Oh, it's not going to load. And now I'm going to have to edit this video. Come on, friendship. All right, we're back here now. Here we go, we made it. Sorry guys for that little glitch in the matrix. But here, this is the vector candle that I'm talking about from the 9th of June 2022. And we've marked out the 50% area, which is at 102.43-ish kind of area of that candle. That becomes our first area to watch for a bounce. And then if we break through the 50% area, we look for a full recovery. So now if we go back forward in time, is it forward? Anyway, back to where we are now, we can see here that we have, at this point in time, we've remained above the 50% line. Is there more drop to come? That's what we have to have a look at yet. So the thing here is, let's actually go down to the 15-minute time frame on this one. If we have a look here, what has happened is, number one, we had a railroad track here on the 15-minute time frame that kept us above the 50% line. And then what I kind of I'm looking for a little bit better of a W. Now, could you say on the 15-minute time frame that this here is a W? Yeah, you probably potentially could, but I'm looking for more. We do have a volume break of the 50 EMA here. But then, you know, no real follow through. So I really want to see a clean break of the 50 EMA. Maybe the next side of the W is still coming and that whole thing there is just the inside left side of it. But in an ideal world, I want to see a clean W with a nice strong volume break of that Dixie. But the reason that we had Bitcoin sell off around there is because Dixie did bounce here. And prior to that, Dixie was heading down. That gave everything else an opportunity to move up. If we go and have a look at everything else on the 1-hour time frame, it was kind of like everything literally just did the same thing. So you can see here, S&P had a run up and then just an inverted V sell off. And NASDAQ had a run up, inverted V sell off. So it's yesterday was basically a pretty true inversion of each other. Dixie down, everything up, Dixie up, everything down. So I would be really keeping close attention because at this point in time, it's correlated and it's not always candle for candle correlated, but at this point in time, it's pretty spot on. So the other thing too is that Dixie at this point in time is tending to make the move first. So we can see here when Dixie started to reverse down, what followed was everything else kind of starting to move up. Let's see how close that was on, yeah, sorry, I just want to get to this in the screen here. And yeah, Dixie made the move first and then crypto was actually last this time. Sometimes crypto's first, but in this situation, crypto was kind of last and everything else kind of went for it. So it was very easy to trade this because you could watch what the other markets were doing and that kind of gave you a heads up to look for positions in crypto, which was good, but that won't always last forever and it won't always be that way. And we don't know if it's going to stay that way today. So Dixie is the one to watch, in my opinion. Look for W formations because it's in its vector zone right now. And then look for nice cleaner breaks of the 15-minute 50 EMA. And if it can do that, look for a clean break of the 1-hour 50 EMA next, because that's going to give you a bit of an idea that it's a little bit of a stronger turnaround. Otherwise, if it doesn't do that, if we don't get that strength of the break in the 50 EMA, it could reject and it could then head further down into recover more of this vector candle, which is great, because if it does that, then we can consider Bitcoin and everything else to just have been a pullback before more of an uptrend, because generally you don't see a trend change without a news event to blame it on. So it was a kind of bit of an anomaly that we saw Bitcoin reverse, or everything reverse where it did yesterday. The only time that I would say that you can get a reversal without a news event is the New York reversal trade setup, which is what we had. So speaking of news events, we have, what have we got today? This is, let me just refresh this. So 6 p.m. Dubai time tonight, we have Fed Chair Powell speaking, and then probably the next major ones to watch out for would be CPI January 12. Yeah, they're really the two major events for this week, but obviously I'll do more updates before the CPI, but just be careful of this one here, Fed Chair Powell speaking, because he'll drop a lot of hints about, you know, what is kind of upcoming, and then the market will definitely react to that. Other than that, let's have a look at some heat map levels. Actually, I'm going to refresh this as well. Now, sell walls were huge on this yesterday, leading as price was moving up. Right now, it's kind of cooled off. We still have shorts waiting patiently at 17.5. Really don't have a high level of longs. We're kind of 16,850 is the only one. But when we don't have a high level longs below current price trying to push it up, that's not a good sign, because that's what we need in order to bounce. So it could be more downside coming today. If you missed the getting in off this peak here, then a rejection of 50 EMA is going to be your next best bet on, well, really whatever time frame you're trading. So in Asia right now, let's have a look here. In the Asia session right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the initial high of the day has been set here at 17,240. And does look like it's forming an M formation. So that would have been a good area to short. If price does move back up to around the 50% line, stays under the 50 EMA, that could be a good area to short, because you'd only need to have your stop above the IHOD. But I would expect, because this here broke the 50 EMA, so I would expect that this is drop 1, board meeting, and would expect 2 more further drops. However, just be prepared that the model may not play out exactly as expected because of the news event at 6 p.m. That is in 7 hours from the time that I'm filming this video. So yeah, expect some shenanigans. It might be easier to trade after Powell speaks than pre. But if that IHOD holds there at 17, what did I say it was? 17,240. If that level holds and we don't get spikes above it, then I would say we're going down for drop 2 and 3 from this point on, potentially back to the previous high of the week, maybe at around 17K. Let me just see if there's anything that kind of adds confluence to that. $17.9, we have a fairly large area, and so between 16.9, I should say. 16.9 and 17K is a fairly decent area. And look, that could be a 3-level drop on a lower time frame that still creates a higher low on a higher time frame, and it could still lead to more upside. So if we have a look at the 4-hour, for example, if we did come down into, look at that, we've got a liquidation level at 16,943, and that would be a full recovery of this 4-hour vector here. So if price were to do something like this, for example, say pre-news, pre-Powell speaking, and then maybe if he says something good, we get a spike out up to that 17.5 where we know the shorts are waiting. If we were to get something like that, then on a lower time frame, that would be a 3-level drop. So you know, when you have a strong trend, you can run your 3 rises. Let's just say it's an uptrend. You can run your 3 rises on, say, a 4-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour time frame, and you can run your 3 level drops only on a 15-minute time frame. That's why you shouldn't marry just one time frame. You have to get used to identifying where the pattern is playing out in that moment, and just trade what you're being given, rather than say, I only trade 4-hour time frame, or I only trade daily. That doesn't work for this method. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Sorry I cannot go live. I'm here for another week, I think, so I'll try to work it out. If I can't go live from here, then that's just how it is for now. But once I move, I'll hopefully have better internet. But anyway, I'll try and figure all that out. And as always, if you have questions, jump in the Discord. There is a free section as well where you can ask questions. My team are in there all the time, and my awesome community. So have an amazing day. And I'm not going to edit this, so I'm sorry you're going to have to sit through the moments of my computer, my screen not working. But have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow.